Today on Kicks Chronicles, we chat sneakers with Mark Maciver, aka 𝗥𝗨𝗟𝗘𝗦. We talk about the kicks he loved growing up, his life and career cutting some of the biggest names in the game, and what kicks he'd take with him if he was stranded on a desert island. This is Kicks Chronicles. Yes, my people, we close that back again, and you already know what it is, man. Kicks Chronicles, episode 44 of your sneaker and lifestyle podcast. I'm your boy PROZECH. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us on this wonderful day, wonderful evening, afternoon, whatever time of the day you're watching / listening to this. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for everyone who managed to watch our previous episode with Scott from the Doubled Up podcast. Yes, I doubled up. You get me? I doubled up. We've had Matt, we've had Scott. Now I've doubled up. I've got the whole thing. I've completed. Doubled Up podcast is complete. If you haven't managed to check out that podcast, or those podcasts, I should say, make sure to go and check that out. It's available everywhere you get podcasts. Also on YouTube, every digital podcasting platform. It's there, it's ready, it's waiting, it's available. This week, we're actually talking sneakers and life with somebody that I've admired for quite a bit of time. His name is Mark Maciver. Some of you are not going to know Mark Maciver by that name. You're going to know him by Slider Cuts. Now, Slider Cuts is known as one of the biggest hairstylists / barbers in the game. He's out here cutting some of the biggest names in TV, film, music, you name it, bro. He's there sharpening that lineup, bro. He even cut Lebron James's hair. But I have to say this, public service announcement, he is not responsible for what has since transpired on that headpiece, bro. You can't level that at Mark. It's nothing to do with him, bro. He was in good hands, bro. But obviously when you go to America, you let that man do their thing and it's a different vibe. And he was over here in the UK, bro. He was straight, bro. You get me? Like when Mark was looking after him, he was straight. But yeah, shout out to Mark and shout out to the whole team over at Slider Cuts. But before we get into that, guys, I got to talk to you. I had a really, really cool week and I got a couple of pickups that I definitely got to talk about. Now, a couple of weeks ago, those of you that would have seen it, a lot of you would have seen it, I dropped my top 10 for 2023, my top 10 sneakers 2023 so far. Now, a lot of you were vibing with the list because you deep the list. You deep the list, top to bottom, you deep the list and you realize, you know what, it's a strong list. Some of you, man, weren't feeling what I was saying, but I told you, man, where to go, so it's cool. Either way, I've actually managed to pick up a couple from the top 10. First, I have this bad boy right here. Now, this is I think it's Rugi, but I know the guy's name is Ruigi. He's actually the founder of Rude Clothing, and this is his collaboration. This is the B-Boy suede with Puma. And guys, like, the camera's not going to be able to do this justice. This is an amazing shoe. Like, the suede is the most buttery. Like, it is very, very good materials. And the thing that I love about this the most is the muted nature of the suede, the muted nature of the pink, but also everything is sail on the shoe. Like the sail laces, the sail midsole, like it feels old school. It feels retro and fresh all at the same time. So it's a very, very cool shoe. I actually managed to pick up this shoe for less than retail. The shoe retails at 99. I managed to pick it up for like 80 something from Consortium. So shout out to Consortium. Little voucher code on these. So yeah, very, very cool. So yeah, super, super happy to pick these bad boys up. Yeah, a lot of compliments on these. These will be making an appearance on the Instagram very, very shortly. The other shoe that I managed to pick up is a little bit of a boner. I'm not going to lie. I'm not trying to show off. No light flexing here. I'm just saying, bro. Number one's in the house. Number one. This is my number one. This is my number one for 2023 so far. The Nike SB. The Nike SB Jordan 4 collaboration, bro. This is the only Jordan 4 I have in my collection. Real talk, I think it's the only Jordan 4 anyone really needs. Everyone knows that I'm the comfort king. And I didn't really want to go down the rabbit hole of just copying a random Jordan 4 because I like the colorway. I waited. I waited until they collaborated with SB, and it was stated clearly that comfort was going to be a priority in the shoe because they needed to make it for skateboarding. They couldn't just have the regular amount of padding that they normally have in Jordan 4s, which I've tried on in the past and it didn't really vibe with me. No, they needed to up the padding, up the cushion, and they certainly have. Tried the shoe on, and yeah, it bangs super, super hard. No long thing. So yeah, very, very happy with this shoe. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think, because I put this at number 1, and now that I've got it in hand, I'm very, very happy. Look at that little bit of a gum sole there. I'm super, super happy with where I placed it. I can't say, little hits of red as well. I can't say that this shoe doesn't deserve to be where it is in terms of my top 10. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. And actually, I got this from the guys at Creps Collection Club because, as you guys probably would know, I do a lot of work with Creps Collection Club, and I recently did some stuff and they gave these to me. They actually gave these to me. So imagine I managed to pick up the Luigi's and these for £80, like less than retail and absolutely free, which is absolutely amazing. But your boy I'm not a gatekeeper. I already told you this. I ain't no gatekeeper out here, and I'm not gatekeeping. Creps Collection Club are currently running a competition. They're actually doing a giveaway of this very same shoe. Yeah, I'm going to throw up the details on the screen right now. People, get involved. Very, very simple. All you have to do is follow them on all social platforms, right? Like a post or whatever. Put it in your story. All the basic bait stuff. And you can get the sneaker of the year. Now, this is a £400-500 kick in my hand right now. No play. And CCC are going to give this to one lucky winner, but make sure you get your entries in early so you can be amongst those that will have the chance to win this amazing prize. I can't deny it's an amazing prize. So people, get involved. I'll also include the details of the competition in the description as well. This is your chance to win the sneaker of the year so far. So I would get involved. So people, get involved in that. Show some support to Creps Collection Club. Jump over to their YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and do all of that normal stuff. And yeah, you'll be in with a chance of winning one of these. Yeah, and I think everyone needs a pair of these in their collection. So let's put that to one side. And let's get back to talking about our amazing, illustrious guest. Now, this week, as I said, we're talking to Mark Maciver, aka 𝗥𝗨𝗟𝗘𝗦. Now, we first talk about his love, what drew him into the game. And he mentions a shoe that it's not the first time it's been mentioned, but it's certainly a shoe that I would refer to as almost neo soul, hood classic. A shoe that you're not going to see on road anytime soon, but a shoe that everyone from a certain age will remember and respect. The LA gear. Now, I need to connect with somebody that knows Mr. LA gear or Mrs. LA gear, because I need to understand. Like, the drop off was crazy. The fall off was nuts. For a minute, they were ruling the streets. We didn't need street lights in the UK because of the amount of LA gears knocking about on kids' feet. You get me? Like, so LA gear was big in the game. It can't be denied. And don't let anybody lie to you. Don't let anyone rewrite history. LA gears were moving mad in these streets. Yeah. Don't want anyone lie to you. Yeah, so we talk about the LA gears, them light up joints from back in the day. We also bring it up to the modern day, and he talks about now he's obviously getting into Jordans and what Jordans he's getting into. But he also talks about his love, apart from obviously cutting hair, and he's a family man and a God-fearing man as well. But he talks about his love of running. This guy's always running, bro. I don't know who he's running away from, but he's running. Or maybe he's running to something, you get me? Maybe I should say it that way. But he talks about his love of running kicks and the number one brand in his life right now, Asics, bro. He absolutely loves Asics. So we get into that as well. We also ask him what it means to be a sneakerhead, what his thoughts on that term means. And we also put him through the mill, we put him through the ring, we apply that pressure and give him that quick fire question. As I said, an amazing guest, an awesome human being, one I obviously hope to have back on the channel again or just speak to in general once again. Very, very cool guy, and an interview that I really, really enjoyed, and I hope you find it interesting and entertaining. And with all of that being said, I'm your boy PROZECH. This is Chronicles, and our guest this week is the illustrious, the amazing, the world famous at this point, Mark Maciver, Slider Cuts. Enjoy. Yes, my people. Big PROZECH back again. You already know what it is, man. Another episode of Chronicles. I'm here with an illustrious guest. He is the man himself. I got Mark in the building. Slider Cuts, my G. You get me? Hair stylist. I'm not going to call him a barber because he's a hairstylist. He's a barber and a hairstylist. He's all of the above. Extraordinaire. Though, bro, this guy's worldwide. You get me? And yeah, it's an absolute honor and a privilege to have you on the podcast, my bro. So yeah, how you doing? How's it kicking? What's popping?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on a podcast. I'm honored for you to have me.
Bro, the honor is literally all mine. Like, I can't even tell you, bro. Like, I've been following you for a minute, like in a number of areas, because ultimately, like, apart from just being like a sick barber, like you're also motivational speaker. Like, you do other bits and pieces, like, and you just give genuinely good advice, man. You seem like a really nice guy, obviously, from what I've seen online. Like, so it's just amazing to have you on. I don't know if you know the reason why I approached you, because obviously this is a sneaker podcast, and you're a barber, and that the reason why I approached you is like my one of my friends, when we were setting up and looking at lists of people who we would like to approach, one of the things that I always say is, like, even though a lot of people may not realize it, how we look and how we feel have a massive connection, right? And it sort of permeates into the things that we do. And growing up, yeah, whenever I've gone to the barbers, yeah, the guys that bang the hardest in terms of their skills, they're doing the sharpest cuts. You get me? Those guys usually were like just dressed up real clean. They had like a real deep style to them. And obviously it depends on what area you go to, like, but they just had a look about them, like, and invariably that dripped all the way down to the kicks as well. So I just knew, like, looking at your vibe and looking at how you were, like, you may have had back in the day, similar influences or similar feelings. So, my boy suggested you to me, and once I started looking into you, I was like, bro, I think this guy might be a guy, you know, he might be a guy and we might have some stuff in common. So yeah, once again, thank you for joining us, man. So yeah, let's take it back to the beginning. But before we do that, man, Slider Cuts, yeah. I get the cuts bit, but what's the slider bit, man? Talk to me about your name, man. Where does that come from?
Okay, the slider part is actually just a nickname I got when I was about 13, 14 years old. I got the nickname.
So it's not sliding into DMs, yeah. It's just a different generation.
DMs did not exist back then. DMs was not a thing back then. You know, so yeah, it was just a nickname I got from MCing. So I was an MC, and that was my MC name, and it was just a chosen name, to be honest. It wasn't related really to anything. But what happened around that same time of me getting that name was I got into dancing. And I got addicted to sliding. So, you know, some would say, gliding, the glide, you know. So some might say, you know, I spoke it into existence. Some might say, and maybe that was the case. But I really got into that. So anytime someone would see me from that point, they'd be like, oh, when they'd be like, your nickname Slider, they'd be like, oh, it makes sense. Because they've just seen me sliding up and down, you know.
So
that's kind of how the name came. And then when I was setting up a website for myself, like about 12 years ago, when we decided what the website name would be, we went with Slider because everyone was calling me Slider, and we added on cuts.
Yeah, makes sense, man. Makes sense. Makes all the sense in the world now, man. I remember back in the day when man used to go to the spot and do that little sidewinder move, you get me, that little usher. You get a little moonwalk and that, man. No, I must have not been as good as you, because nobody was out here calling me Slider. They were just calling me Clunky, bro. But it's what it is. Alright, G. What we're gonna do, man, at Kicks Chronicles, man, we like to take it right back to the beginning, man. So yeah, talk to me. Was there a shoe back in the day that you would refer to as a shoe that maybe you refer to as your first love? Maybe one that sticks out to your mind as a shoe that, like, said to you, you gotta have me. You need me as part of your collection. You may not have many shoes, but this needs to be one. Like, I need this one. Can you talk to me about that shoe if you remember?
I think the first set of trainers that I really wanted, I can't remember how old I was. I was probably about 6, 7, and I wanted LA Gear light ups. I don't know if they're called light ups.
Bro.
I don't know if they're called light ups, but they were the LA Gear trainers that lit up.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. Bro, they were. That's a cult classic, bro. Yeah. That's a hood classic. Them LA Gears, yeah. Like, they're so interesting because, like, the LA Gear, like, looking back now as a slightly older man, you're like, oh, okay, shoes with lights in it. It's a bit corny. But at that time,
as a kid, boy,
Mark, bro, as a kid, bro, that literally was that's the height of technology. Yeah. Like, I'm walking and my footsteps are lit up. Like, I'm literally lit, bro.
Yeah. For real.
Literally lit, bro. Like, so yeah, you're not the first one to mention the LA Gears. The LA Gears get a lot of love. I had a little bit of jealousy regarding the LA Gears at a moment, man, because I think my nephew had a pair of LA Gears and I never really got involved. You get me? My foot got big real quick, man.
Yeah, the big size, expensive trainers.
Yeah, my foot got big real quick, man. So them kind of cute little things kind of miss my.
It was the same with me. Like, when I was I became size 6 when I was probably about 7 years old. I was a size 6. So I stopped being the kid sizes as well around those ages. Oh, no. But also, even if whether I was kid or not, my mum was just finding me the cheapest trainers. So I say I wanted the LA Gears, but I didn't get the LA Gears. Yeah.
Respectfully. Like, talk to me about your upbringing, because, like, I'm from African descent. Are you, like, what country is your origins from?
Both my parents are Nigerian.
Ah, bro, big up the Nige guys, bro. You know they're my brothers,
Where
bro.
You from?
You know they're my brothers. I'm from Ghana.
So.
I'm from Ghana, but I'm an adopted son of Nige, bro. Like, honorably and respectfully, I love Nigeria and the Nigerian people. Like, good and bad, we take it all, because Ghana's exactly the same. Don't let anyone lie to you. Just on a slightly smaller scale. You get me, man? But yeah, for what it's given to us as a people, man, I'm happy to be associated with Nigeria as a country, man. I've got so many friends from that part of the world. So yeah, we're obviously both from West Africa, and in my household, similar to what you said, shoes were definitely not a priority, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they were not on top of anyone's list. They were on top of my wish list, but they were definitely not a reality. You get me? Like, and obviously the priority was for my mum, food, education. That's it, bro. Like, just survival, right?
Definitely.
There, which is completely understandable at the time. So yeah, what that ended up leaving with me is that I had to end up dabbling in the dark arts, bro. And let's talk about the dark. man's eyes went down a little bit when I said that. the way, bro, I need to clip that. The way your eyes went down. Well, the way your eyes went down, bro, you just relived something, bro. I'm just being real with you, bro. Like, so I had to go through, I call them Unholy Grails. I call them Unholy Grails, bro. And before I start getting into a list of Unholy Grails, yeah, right? We're up. Now, God is good. You get me, man? He's put us in a nice position by His grace. You get me? Like, right? So we're there, you get me? But, like, some people had to go through the valley of the shadow of death to get to that promised land. You get me? It's a humbling experience, but for some it can be a great experience. You get me? An experience is experience. You get me? So let me touch on a couple of the ones that I remember You get me? And then you can tell me if it jogs any memories or if you've got any experience at Unholy Grails. So I'll start off with the humble plimsoll. You got Gola, Air, Ball Boy, High Tech Dunlop, Mercury AVR, Ascot Tracks, Adore, Everlast, Lonsdale. Any of those ring any bells? You ever have to dabble in them thing there?
Mercury. I had Mercury as my
Mercury.
my school sports trainers when everybody had Nike and Reebok, and this is secondary school as well, not primary school.
Bro, I'm there with you. I'm there with you. Bro, like, you know how, bro, like, I can tell. Look how successful you are, bro. Look at what he's done, bro. Like, bro, like, there's somebody needs to do somebody needs to do the I was saying the research to scientifically see what the alignment is between people that have to go through that valley of the shadow, bro, and the upside and what they're able to achieve in life, bro. Because it's different when you've been like you've probably people have told you about yourself, bro.
Yeah.
You've experienced things willingly and unwillingly, bro. And look, bro. I can understand. I understand it, bro. I understand it, man. It's so funny to me. That, and obviously, look, at the time, obviously, it's your world, right? It's everything, right? But thank God, because time gives you perspective. You understand? Like, it's just shoes at the end of the day, man. It's not like a reflection of me as a human being, but it helps you to understand at a young age, right? And this is something that's really important for obviously those that watch. Like, I'm in sneakers and I talk about shoes, and among other things, but shoes are an absolute passion of mine, right? But I would never allow shoes to affect or detriment my family. Like, my responsibilities as a father and a husband, right? I know it's easier for me in my position because I'm a bit older, I work and I earn my own money, right? But there are people that probably watch yourself online, myself online, and they may not be in that position, maybe younger, and they may be in that feeling of, I need to look a certain way in order for me to get a certain level of respect, or just for people to acknowledge me, or just to be seen.
Definitely.
Right? Do you have any kids?
3 kids.
Like, cool. Like, do you ever find yourself in that situation where you're trying to sort of explain to them, like, I get you wanting to look a certain way, but obviously there's more important things. Are they able to appreciate that?
I think they're too young to. I think they're still at the age where they don't care. They care more about, well, not they don't care. They do care. They definitely care. But the things they care about is like, if they can have a cartoon-based T-shirt. Yeah, because like 6, young, my children's 6, 4, and 0, like a 3-month-old.
Oh, congratulations! That's amazing.
When I say 6, he'll be 7 next month. So basically 7, 4, and 0. So at this stage here, if he can get like my oldest son or my younger one, if they can get their favorite cartoon character on their T-shirt, they're happy. They don't care about that's them.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, because the thing is, when I was a kid, getting a cartoon character on the T-shirt would have been one thing, bro. Getting a pair of kicks that just had a tick on the side would have been all right. I knew for a fact, and the thing is, nowadays is a bit different because you've got companies like Sports Direct and that have like sort of your low cost leaders that have made it really accessible. Yeah, just made it a lot more accessible for most people to be able to pick up sort of like, even it's not like the most expensive ones, it's like a very sort of entry level shoes or whatever. But like, people are not getting like having to go through what we went through. You get me? Like, but like, I think it's I think still the lessons bear true. You get me? Even though I wouldn't wish for my child to go through what I went through, like, I still appreciate having gone through it. What about you? Do you think along similar lines?
Well, I think it's taught me. Well, no, I'm lying. Let me not make it over deep. That it taught me. At the time, I just wanted good trainers. I didn't, and I just wanted, some name brand trainers. I had older brothers. They were talking about trainers. I had friends in school who had name brand trainers. I just wanted some name brand trainers, and that was it. I think as I got older, I'm not sure I say it taught me. I don't think it really taught me like a lesson. I think it's just more of a sinful situation of we didn't have any money. And it didn't teach me to go without, because it wasn't like I was going without food. That's something, you learn to go without. We still had trainers, we still had clothes, we still, we weren't walking around naked, you know, so it didn't teach you to go without, because we didn't go without technically. We didn't align up with fashion.
This is it. This is it. I suppose it's the difference between sort of like a want and
A need.
like what's it and a
Yeah.
need, exactly. Like, and I think it's important to note, like, I don't know if, like, I think having shoes on your feet is probably a
Yeah.
need, right? But having like the most expensive
It's a
Jordans on your
want.
feet is
It's
definitely
a
not
want.
a need. It's definitely a
Yeah.
want. That's definitely, we can draw that distinction. I think for some sneakerheads they would argue, but I think we can be real and we can say it's definitely a want. It's not a need, and we can be real with that, bro. That's
Yeah, so
cool.
I used to
That's
understand
cool.
that. So growing up, it's just not like it's not like a lesson. It's just like, okay, well, my mum couldn't afford it, and as I got older, I realized very clearly she could not afford it. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, she should have done this, she should have done.
It's not her choice to not give it to you. It's not like she's hiding Jordans on the
Yeah,
side, bro. Like, she just couldn't do it, and her priorities were different. And that's the really
yeah,
important thing, man. I think having parents that prioritized looking after you and feeding you is probably the right
yeah,
way
yeah,
around, instead of putting you head
yeah,
to toe
yeah,
in
yeah,
drip.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
probably how I'd
yeah,
want that
yeah,
relationship to go if I was
yeah.
choosing. Talk to me about Northwest, bro. Like, London as a hotbed of style, in my opinion, bro. So, like, when you were growing up and you were just seeing in your mind's eye, maybe in your heyday, like, what shoes did you see on feet that kind of represented your area?
Well, you know what's funny? Growing up, right, Northwest, right, and I've lived now in Northwest. I've lived basically kind of North London-ish, and I now live in East London for the last 12 years of my life. But then also my wife's from South London, so I've kind of been around South London, where it's like I wasn't living there, but I was around there. So,
You was around,
so
you
yeah,
was
so I've
outside, yeah.
seen like the different areas, and I'll say that North London and West London seemingly care the most about their look, their image, their
Interesting.
trainers,
Interesting.
their clothing, like their whole image, right, and the way externally what they're dressed in, right. I think Northwest care about designer more.
I
So
get
they're
you.
like,
I
so
get
in
you.
Northwest, it's like, from early, everyone had, they had the Pradas. As example, people were wearing the
Yeah.
Pradas from early, because,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
nice shoe, and it's kind of like, it's fashionable, and it's a name, and you know that it costs money.
Bro, it takes like three or
Yeah,
four, but no, I
you
get
know,
you, bro. I get you, and I know exactly what Prada you're talking. You're talking about the America's Cup. It's the one that had like a
yeah,
little strip
yeah,
at the
yeah,
back, and it
yeah,
was kind of like
yeah,
square off at the
yeah.
top. Like, bro, that shoe is iconic, because I got my first pair of Pradas in
Okay.
college. Um, I think it was either Big John or Ade that hooked me up, bro, and yeah, these man, yeah, hooked me up. It came in a bag. I didn't ask how they got it. It just came to me. I remember it was £90. I got the black ones, just the black leather joints, and it was just like it's like putting those shoes on my feet was like learning a different language. Like, it
Mm.
took me to a different place. Like, it didn't make sense. I went to college in SFX. I don't know if you know about
Where's that? What
SFX
area
back
is
in
that?
the day. SFX was in
Okay, yeah.
Clapham South. And SFX was known as a
Okay.
fashion college, right? It's not a college where you learn fashion. It's a fashion college, as in people just go there to look
Okay.
fashionable. Like, yeah. So the looking and then the learning was
Yeah, yeah,
second.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
looking was top and the learning was second. So yeah, it's important. Like, and obviously it just made it clear once you got there, you started seeing sort of the vibe of people that, there were
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
styles
yeah,
of
yeah,
shoes and
yeah.
certain styles of clothes that were like really, really popular, and I needed. And coming from where I came from, like, our vibe was different, because I came from
Okay.
Southeast London. My vibe in Southeast London was like quite casual, nothing too prim and too proper. You get me? Like, it was just easy and light with it. Going to college in SFX, I'm realizing that guys are out here in Buffer St. George. They got the straight jeans on, they got the Pradas, the Gucci straps on. You get me? Like, people are out here like with the 95s and the Air Max 1s and I'm just trying to figure everything out, man. I'm just trying to figure everything out. But it was an interesting time. So, like, I get where you're coming from, man. I get where you're coming from. The different parts of London represent different things, sort of thing, and everyone's got sort of a different vibe about them. But yeah, we can bring it sort of more into the modern day. Hi there. So nice to see you. Sorry to interrupt the pod. I'll be literally 30 seconds. I just wanted to say thank you for being here. And also, if you enjoy the pod, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It really does help. Also, if you're listening on an audio platform, feel free to give us a review, whether it be positive or negative. Just leave a review. We really, really appreciate it. Also, feel free to listen to our old episodes. And if you ever want to get in contact, if you want to let me know what you're thinking, feeling, or whatever, holler at me. My name is PROZECH. PROZECH on all social media. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm enjoying TikTok at the moment. So feel free to holler at me. I will always holler back. And with all that being said, I'll let you get back to the pod. Toodles. One of the things I always like to understand, and considering like what you do, you're on your feet like the majority of the day, I'd imagine. Right? So like in terms of when you're doing what you're doing best, what is on your feet? Are you rocking a shoe, like a proper shoe, like a derby or something? Are you rocking a slider, like slider cuts? Are you rocking a slide?
Definitely not sliding.
Are you rocking some kicks? What's on your feet when you're doing what you're doing?
No, I wear Palladium boots. So, you know.
Okay.
Because I found going from trainers that were, felt that like they were really comfortable, right, to trying the boot one day and wearing it, realizing that my foot felt more secure and more comfortable for longer in a boot than it did in trainers. After a while in trainers, I felt like for some reason, it felt like my foot was sinking into the ground. And then with the boot, it just felt like I just had a lot more hold, like I could do a 16-hour shift, and it just was a lot more comfortable in boots. So for years, I've just been wearing boots. Now, the other day, I put on these Jordan 1s, which from the outside, for me, looked like uncomfortable trainers. But when I put them on, I was like, woo.
Well, they would make sense, considering like if you're used to wearing boots, like a Jordan 1 kind of flows in that regard, like, because it's quite structured.
Yeah, and that's the next trainer which I'm going to buy, which is the next trainer I'm going to buy are going to be Jordan 1, black Jordan 1, the boot version. I don't know if there's any low cut versions, but that's the next trainer I'm going to buy, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to try these and see how they work. Me standing, with them on for like 12 hours to 14 hours and see how they hold up against the boot.
That's the real test. That is the real test. Because the thing about boots, I have to imagine like majority of boots are built for work, right? They're built to be hard wearing and obviously to be potentially worn outside. So they have to offer a level of comfort. You would think, right, that Jordan's, considering that he actually played the game in these kicks, that they would have a similar level of comfort, because you're jumping up and down and you're running around and you're turning and you're right. And unfortunately, Jordans are notoriously uncomfortable, quote unquote. But the reason why people say they're uncomfortable is because they compare them to other sneakers, which are made for comfort, right? And this is a performance shoe, right? So, like, I'll grab a Jordan 1 because I've got one to hand. This is my favorite Jordan 1. It's actually the only Jordan 1 that I have, so it is what it is. Right, this is the Chicago Jordan 1.
Yeah.
And this came out like last year. This is the lost and found pair of the Chicago. So this is basically a reimagining of, like, you see the Air movie that came out. So the first Jordan 1, the first one was the Chicago colorway. And remember they were saying in the Air movie, like, oh, it's got too much color in it, you'll get fined for it. So the red, too much red. So this was the too much red. This was the extra red that they were talking about. Because this originally was like meant to be more white, and they were like, more red, please. Yeah. For the Chicago Bulls colorway. This is my first, and I wear it rarely because obviously it's not super comfortable, but the drip's so hard, bro. It is very good looking shoe. It is a very good looking shoe. So yeah, you going into the black one, because they do a low black one, and they do a low, a mid, and a high version. In terms of Jordan 1s. So like, I would definitely encourage you to try out if you can, and then you can figure out sort of for yourself sort of where what works for you. But obviously if you're wearing boots, the highs probably work for you. In the community, man, people sort of tend to look down on the mids. I don't know if you know about that. People tend to look down on the mids. The reason why they tend to look down on the mids is because Michael Jordan never played in mids. He only played in highs. You get me? Like, but the same level of energy, negative energy that the mids get, the lows don't get for some reason, right? People just have a lot of negative energy against the mids. But I won't project that onto you, bro. Just live your life. Whether it's a mid or whether it's a high, do your thing.
It'll be a high. It will be a high.
You heard it in first, and I'm holding him to that. He said it's going to be.
I don't want people looking down at me as I'm walking down the street, getting abused because I train.
Getting abused because of your kicks. This is the world that we live in, man. This is
behind like 20-something years ago.
Bro, let's talk a little bit more about your business, man. Because when I was doing my research, I was like, this guy is literally in all the apps. Like, your social media is so on point, bro. Like, it's so on point, man. And obviously, like, I have to I'm obviously in social media to an extent. So like, when you see like a business or a personality that's just out there doing their thing, and they're on all of the apps, and they've got a huge amount of engagement, and people are really vibing with their content, man, you have to say, you know what, this is amazing. Like, I'm not going to embarrass you, but you're pushing big numbers on all of the major platforms. Like, it's massive. Like, it's really, really like amazing to see. Like, talk to me about like social media and how important that is for you, your brand and your business.
Social media is highly important, simply because it's a platform that everybody's on. You know, Instagram, I don't know now, but when I last checked or heard, they had like 1 billion users on the platform.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So it's like, and there's 8 billion people in the world. So that's 1/8 of the world is on.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
It's a lot when it's a lot. So, I've always had this thing where I tell people, where everybody is, you should be as a business. When I'm talking to businesses, I'm like, where everybody is, you should be. It's a very simple concept. And what it means by that is just like the breakdown is just like, wherever everybody is that could be interested in you, you should be. So, as example, ice cream vans should be where? On a hot day at a park.
A park or a playground makes sense, man.
A school.
There's no point you being at a school, outside the football. Like, there needs to be where the people are. No, I get you, bro. Like, it's very simple, but it makes a lot of sense.
So social media, I'm like, well, everybody's on it, so I can reach those people. I can put my business in front of those people. So it's highly kind of like important to my business, because it's where I promote myself, it's where I put my content out, it's where I put my work out, it's where I get a lot of customers from, it's where I get brand partnerships, is where companies see me to work with me from. So it's important, 100%. It's done a lot for my business, and not just as simple as just being on social media has done a lot for my business. Using social media in a certain way has done a lot for my business. But I always tell this, like, on social media, they have created the users, not created the users, they have, brought in all of the users. So I'm just using what they've already done. They've already done the hard work. They've got everybody in, right? Just like the park. Right now, if you got ice cream van, you're not the reason why they're at the park. They're already there because it's a hot day, because of the grass, because of this, because of that, because of the playground and everything else, right? So those other elements have brought in all of the customers.
Those are the attractions.
The initial thing. So you have just been like, whoa, okay, everyone's here. hot day, people would love an ice lolly. So I'm going to stop at the entrance and I'm going to serve all of those clients, you know. And they've basically done a lot of the hard work of getting everybody in. Now it's just about you bringing a product to those people that they would want to buy into.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it makes complete sense. Like, I don't know why anybody that's in the service industry, especially, or has a product that they're trying to sell, wouldn't avail themselves of opportunity of social media. Like, it's super, super important, especially in the modern age, especially in the age that we live in now. Obviously, back in the day, word of mouth was really important, and it still is to an extent. It still carries a similar, it still carries weight, but like the way you're hearing about what's in people's mouths is on social media. Like, it's far less like you just hearing it from Rob down the street or from a certain man at church or in the pub or wherever. Like, you're going on your phone and because of what you've been looking at and because of what you've been searching, you're hearing about other things that may be of interest, because that's how the algorithms and all of this sort of things work. Did you notice quite quickly a correlation between the more followers you had, or the amount of that you were posting, to the amount of people coming through the doors?
Yes, definitely. But it wasn't as simple as just the more followers I had, the more customers I gained. It was the more I pushed out a particular type of content, the more it attracted customers. So I always thought there's loads of people with big followings and they don't get any sales from their big followings because they're just not selling the correct things. So as example, like, I noticed very early, you know, because I'm really into like marketing and I'm really into like the social media and breaking down the psychology around things. So I noticed there were sketches that I would put out which would get me loads of comments, loads of likes, loads of views because they were funny sketches. But those sketches wouldn't get me any customers. But my lowest performing content, I remember this is like a few years ago, my lowest performing content was the content that actually got me sales in real life. And the reason why is because my lowest performing content was just me putting out a haircut, a simple haircut, putting a picture of a haircut. If I did a before and after, maybe, if it was a really like a rugged before, then it'll get good engagement. If it wasn't, just where the guy had a haircut maybe 2 weeks ago, you cut them again, you know, got some likes, some views, the odd comment, right? But it was my lowest performing content, just putting out my haircuts. And I remember putting out a post telling people, what's funny is my lowest performing content serves me more in real life than my highest performing content, because my lowest performing content actually gets customers booking appointments, but my highest performing content gets people laughing and entertained. But I don't sell anything in real life to do with comedy, so there's nothing wrong with it. So there's nothing wrong with me doing the sketches. People laugh, they find it funny, but it ends there. But with my barbering content, when I was putting out haircuts and finished products and all of that stuff there, people are like, okay, decent haircut. And I used to see people, like, I remember there'll be people in my chair, right? All the time this would happen, right? I'll go into people come to my chair, right? And they'll be like, they'll bring out the phone, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll be like, you know, what do you want? They'll be like, oh, see this haircut? I see this haircut you done on Instagram, and I click on it, and I'd look at it, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. Then I look at it and say, oh, do you like that haircut? This has happened quite a few times. I'm like, do you like the haircut? The guy's like, yeah, that's the haircut I want. So I said, so why didn't you like it then?
Why didn't you actually like it?
Because you got it saved, or you got a screenshot of it, and I'm like, okay, so why did you not like it then? And I'm just like, but then this is what I'm saying. So what you start finding is he's not engaging in that haircut, right? He's not engaging in that post in any way. He's even looked at it, not liked it, not commented on it, but taken a screenshot of it or saved it, right? Great, he'll get back at it later. But he's paying me money to get that haircut.
And what's more important? Yeah. What is more important? 100%, Mark, bro. Like, it's so like that. That this, like, I suppose, like the clarity of that thought, right, and the understanding between the difference in entertainment, engagement, and actual customer. I'm saying like customer connection, right? There's such a big disparity, but it's so interesting because you can easily, if you look at social media, conflate the two. You can easily get into the mindset of, oh, I need more followers. I need more people to be looking at what I'm doing. So I'll lean into because I can imagine you like you've probably had some really big posts on, especially on Instagram. Like, forgive me, I don't want to embarrass you, but like you're close to 200k on Instagram. Like it's a mad thing out here, bro. Like, you're lit, right? Like, you probably had some crazy posts where like millions of people have seen it, right? And you're thinking to yourself, wow, this is going to be sick. This is going to be crazy, whatever. Like, imagine understanding that, okay, that's going on. You could have easily said, you know what, bro, I might as well just, I'm funny, man. I might as well just become a comedian off of this thing, bro. I might as well just start doing stand-up because I'm obviously funny, bro. And then you completely switch off what you're meant to be doing. Like, your focus completely shifts because you're now following the followers. You're now following the followers, right? Instead of putting out the content that you're talking about, which is literally the core of your business, what you actually do, the differences that you're making to people's lives. That guy, and this is so interesting to me that you said that, and I knew that's where you were going with it, man. Like, it's so interesting that some people come up to me and they're like, oh, I've seen your videos. Like, or they might have gone to the some of the brands that I work with, some of the shops that I work with, and they'll be like, I saw your video in the store. And I'm like, cool. But like, I might ask them, oh, but do you follow, man?
Nah.
No, but I rate you though. And this is it. The thing is, it's like, what's important? They've come up to me and they're saying hello to me and they're happy with what I've been doing and blah, blah, blah. But they don't actually follow me. Do I need the follow, or is it more important that I have that connection with a human being where they understand that I'm like, they're happy with me. I'm happy with them. The interaction is good. Potentially a friendship might come up. Like, what's more important? And I appreciate you giving me that understanding, man, because sometimes it's hard out here, bro. When you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're trying to push and become something, trying to be great, as they say. And sometimes it can get a little murky. How do you stay strong on that, bro?
I guess there's a couple of things. I guess I'm grounded, one, in my faith and my belief, being a Christian, first of all, that grounds me, that humbles me, that keeps me, gives me a certain perspective on the way life is supposed to be lived and the way we're supposed to live our lives. So that definitely like grounds me. And I can't say I think that is actually the majority of it, knowing that I'm the same as everybody else, knowing that, whoever this client is just another human being, I know that anything that happens in my life, any fame, any really high moments, amazing moments, it's not like there's anything wrong with them or it's evil, these amazing moments, but not to live for those moments, because if you live for those moments, if you live for them, then you're almost like, it sounds kind of like grim, but if you're living for the moments, then when those moments don't come, then what is happening? I don't say you're living a dead life. Yeah. But it's almost like...
it's a question, are you still living at that point?
Because life is all about those high moments. And we all know that, we say highs and lows, right? And we all know that the high moments do not come as often as the normal life you're living. So I also even just understand the things of like appreciating. I appreciate like the I can't call them the smaller things in life, but what some people may deem to be the smaller things in life, like being able to put my children to bed, like picking up my children from school, like wrestling with my children.
Love that.
Like sitting across the table, kitchen table, and talking with my wife. These things I really appreciate, because when all of these things, when everything is said and done to some degree, right? When you're looking back in life, I don't think I'm going to miss the idea of what would I miss more? That high moment of when I won an award and that night was amazing, or the day-to-day life I lived with my family and the connections I had with them. And because I think about all these things there, I think that also helps me to keep me like my focus in the right place.
No, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much for sharing that with me, man. I mean, touching on like some of the highs, you've got quite a storied career. Like, how long have you been cutting hair? Just give me an understanding.
Professionally, 20 years, since I was 18.
Right. I was just going through your Instagram, your TikTok. The guys on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, like he's everywhere, right? I'm just going through them. Can I rattle off a couple names? Will it embarrass you?
No, what embarrass me? What embarrassment?
Like, I was saying, like, let's just rattle off a couple names, in it. Like, I might be here a minute, so just hold tight. One of the biggest ones that I was like, when I saw it, I was like, and this guy shouted you out. I was on Ludacris was on there, right? KSI, shout out to KSI. Lebron James, bro. Like, J. Cole, like, Anthony Joshua, Lil Sims, Letitia Wright, Kendrick Lamar, Stormzy, Dizzy Rascal, Russell Westbrook, Mac Miller, rest in peace, Damson Idris, Tiny Temper, Chris Paul, Reggie Yates, Big Sean, among, like, I'd imagine others like Marvin Hughes. Like, there were so many. Like I just wrote down a few that sort of just stuck out to me, sort of thing. Like, when you're working with these types of people on a day-to-day basis, what are the things that that you glean? Like, because I'd imagine the opportunity to be working with a LeBron or working with a Stormzy, like, it could potentially open doors. It could potentially lead to other opportunities, right? Your mindset going into those opportunities, and then how are you using those opportunities to manifest other opportunities?
Well, I'll say maybe some people would see it, and some people think, because they say it to me, that I do not optimize these opportunities as much as I could. But I just focus on giving them a good haircut and a good service. And
I love that.
And that's just it. I don't ask them for anything. You know, I'm not like, hey, can I get this? Can you borrow me some money? Can you blah, blah, blah? Whatever it is, you know. I truly try to give them a service where they're not being bothered. You know, people always ask me, oh, can you ask this person for this or ask this person for that? And I'm just like, I don't like doing that, because I don't want it to be a situation where, you know, they feel like, oh, if I go to the barbershop, am I going to be asked for this today? I'm going to be asked for that today, you know. So yes, I just want to give them and also the issue I have is I'm not asking them for things for myself, right? But everyone else around me wants me to ask them for things for them, you know. But I'm never asking them for anything for myself, right? There's been a couple times with some serious situations where I have passed on messages, or when it's kind of like, or passed on something, but like, I know, like, example, like, I won't say any names or even who it was, right? Because it's actually a sensitive situation where there was someone who, long and short of it, he collapsed randomly and went into a coma. And their parents came to me and said, you know, this person was a massive fan of a particular person who I cut. And they were just like, it would just be great if we could just get him to talk to him, like, just through the phone. Just say maybe you could hear his voice. Maybe it might trigger something in his head for him to wake up. And as I was like, oh, you know, I understand. You know, they were like crying, the parents, and I was like, oh, you know, I really want to ask this person, but I don't want to ask this person because I don't want to put that person in this position.
Of course.
But at the same time, they're like, you know, this might save his life. You know, this might do something. You know.
Oh my days, that's a lot.
You know, so I was like, oh, I'd never met these people before, but I'd met their child, but not the parents. So I was just like, okay. So I passed on the message anyway, and he done it.
That's amazing.
And he did it. Busy schedule, super big, like one of the biggest names, you know, and he did it. You know, so there's been times like that where those kind of things like that, I've been like, okay, you know, pass it on, you know, awkwardly, but they do it. But generally, for me, as I said, it's just about me just giving a good service, a good haircut. So the opportunities I have got has just been from constantly throwing good seeds. I always say this term, like, you know, just throw good seeds. Like, obviously, I know there are things I could maybe be doing if I was having like there are things I could be doing to maybe maximize these opportunities a bit more to get, you know, do this from that. But I kind of see it as like my focus has just always been, I'm just going to give you a good haircut and a good service. And that's all I'm here to do, you know. But also, I'm lying. You could say I've maximized some of the opportunities because being able to get some of these people on camera, that is for me. That's me maximizing cool. The opportunity. That's me, not me asking you for, I don't know, money, or asking to shout me out, or asking for, I don't know, put me on your page or put me in your thingy or do this for me. I'm not going to do that. That's unprofessional. The fact that some of these guys letting me film them, right, or record them, or, you know, for me, that is the opportunity. And the reason why these guys have let me do that is because my focus has been, first of all, the haircut and the service, and then it's the camera. It wasn't kind of like it's just all about the camera. It's always been like, I just want to give you a good service. So I guess they feel comfortable. And also, I think the other thing was as well, is a lot of these guys, especially when they came to me and they see my social media, they had seen how I was putting everybody on social media.
I have to applaud that, bro. Like, there's no bias or any type of like you're not leaning. Oh, I only put the superstars or the celebrities on my page or whatever.
Yeah, I rarely put them on.
Like, people go check. This is it, bro. Like, he might do a super cut, and you might just like. I think I saw a super cut. Like, I think that was one of the 1 or 2 videos that I saw that there was loads of people in there, and I think it was something connected to you getting an award. But the vast, and I say the vast majority of your page, like, it's just regular people like you and me getting haircuts, and you just like showing that before and after, or showing that process, or if it's a particular like type of style that you're doing, or a particular technique that you're trying to highlight, you're just showing that. And I think that's where the value is kind of touching back on what you were saying before, like the real people. Like, you understanding that strategy, real people are going to vibe mostly with real content. And there's going to be a certain amount of people that are going to vibe with, obviously, the more sort of fanciful celebratory content, the interesting, the funny or whatever. But most people are just going to vibe with good haircuts and good service. And that's what you're putting out. That's what you're selling. So it kind of makes sense to make that you're put that foot forward in a sense. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. That's a very, very cool approach to me. In terms of like, maintaining these relationships, this is something that I sometimes struggle with. Like, I've had the opportunity to sort of interview some guys in music, some guys in TV and film, and like, what's the best way in which you could, like, networking sometimes can be a bit like difficult for me sometimes, especially when there's like a massive disparity in age. Like, so sometimes I'm dealing with some youths, like I'm dealing with these young boys, and it's like, I'm saying like, but the thing is, the way that I try to approach it is with everything is I just try to come at it in a positive way, try to lead with love in it. Like, if it's a young man, like, just not trying to son him, not trying to young boy him, but just try and respect him in his space and in his area, like, and like that humility piece once again, like, but like sometimes it can be a little difficult for me to come out my shell and just take that extra step to build my network in that way. How do you find networking in terms of your business, in terms of your social media?
I feel that I could network better. Even the other day, I went to some dinner with someone where, because I'm so kind of caught up on, the regular man. And when I say the regular man, that's like, human beings. I'm talking about mankind, right? Because I'm so caught up on the regular man, right? There are sometimes opportunities which I don't take up, you could say, because I'm also like, what am I doing there? Why am I going there? Like, but the other day, I remember I got invited, I'm not going to say who was with, but I got invited to some lunch with these 2 guys. Yeah, some of the biggest names you could say in the country, actually. And I was just kind of like, no, at first. Not no in a rude way, no. Just because also I want to go home. I was tired, to be honest. And also I just...
Fair enough.
And I was kind of like, just thinking on a mindset of like, what am I doing there? So I remember, so they invited me to this place, right? I kind of said, no, leave it, No, one guy invited me, the guy who I know invited me, but he was having lunch with this other guy who's this like big name. So I literally was on my way home, but my conscience was hitting me where I was just like, I should really just go and just like, even if you're going to not get anything from it, right? You're going to get something from it. I was just like, I should just really just go. So I was on my way home. I was, a mile home on my bike. And I was like, I just turned it around. I said, maybe under a mile. But I just turned it around and said to my guy, actually, yeah, I'm going to come, right? And I went. Like I said, it was just a lunch conversation with the 2 of them, talking about different things, talking about businesses. It was actually a good conversation to have as well, actually, business-wise, right? Now this guy who I don't know knows me. He might have heard of me from before, from this particular person who told me to come. But now he's got a face, and he's just telling me about stuff he's doing. And I'm just so interested. So there are times like that which I should more so take up those opportunities a lot more, right? But I've just focused so much, right? And this is why I would say I'm fortunate and I'm blessed. I focus so much on just putting out a good product. So that's the haircut, that's the service, that is marketing myself. That is the social media, that is, all the social media, my website, everything, right? Marketing myself. And I guess the way I back to my opportunities I grabbed is being able to get some footage has been the best thing that I have done. Being able to get footage. And it was the way I was getting a lot of footage. Being able to get footage of some of these people in natural moments has been probably the best thing that I have done, which has probably created good network for me.
I respect that. Has there been any particular like celebrity experience, positive, that you've had where it's like left a real indelible mark or a lesson that you've learned?
I had someone, right? I won't say who it was, but I had someone who offered to help me out with something. I've had two people. I'm lying. I've had two people. One time, when I was building up my shop, getting into a lot of debt, and I was selling the flat I was living in because I got into so much debt. I needed to sell the flat, to actually pay off some of these things. So me selling the flat wasn't going to make me any money. It was literally, when I even sold it, it was like within under 24 hours, all the money was gone, and I was still in debt. It was just lowering my debt. But I remember this guy said to me, well, why are you selling your place for? I was like, because I have to. I need the money. He goes, do you want to sell it? I said, no. He goes, so why are you selling it then? I was like, because I have to, because I need the money. He goes, all right, but you want to keep it? I said, yeah. He goes, all right, cool. I'll do you a favor then. I will the money you need, I'll give it to you instead, and you choose however long you want to pay it back in, and you work out whether you want a business loan, personal loan, whatever it is, and then you sort it out. And I didn't take it off him. I sold the flat instead, and the reason why is because I just didn't want to be one of those people in his life. Because I know he helps out a lot of this person helps out a lot of people, and a lot of people ask a lot of things from him. And even though he offered it to me, I was still kind of like, I didn't want to be one of those people in his life. But I appreciate it so much. The fact that
this is it.
I appreciate it so much. The fact that and then there's that. Then there's another person where, I won't go into the proper story because it's very personal. But someone close to me was sick, and this guy just said to me, this celebrity guy said to me, like, you need to get that person into private care. He goes, listen, no matter what it is, no matter how much it costs, this and that, I'll give you the money. He goes, I'll borrow you the money. He goes, furthermore, I don't even have to borrow the money. He goes, I'll give you the money. He goes, but you need to make sure that person gets into private care because, you can't play around with these things here, And he's just like, whatever it is, don't worry about it. I'll send you the money to put that person in that situation. I didn't end up doing that anyway, but I remember just feeling myself, this person really, like really reached out and, looking out for me, and I really appreciate that. So some of the moments I have, they're not like these kind of like glamour things like that. It's more so just things where you realize it's kind of like it's more than a haircut, and also I think that it also said to me how they see me.
I was literally just gonna, bro, because it's a testimony of the seeds, like you were talking about. It's the seeds that you've sown bearing fruit. That is it, bro. That is a reflection of the life that you've led and how you've impacted and benefited them. Leads to these opportunities coming back towards you, where people feel comfortable to be able to approach you in this way, man. It's a real testimony, man. Like, and it's very, very, very cool to hear, man. Very, very cool to hear, man. Nah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I wanna bring it back to Kicks for a second. Right? I want to bring it back to Kicks for a second, because there's a part of the show that I always get people to talk about their modern day, get people to talk about sort of what they wear on feet. It's called the EST of KIC, right? There's one question in here that I really want to get from you. I want to understand, your most, like, you know, like if you're just bopping to the shops, like if you're just running
Yeah.
out your house, yeah, you're not putting a massive amount of thought into it, man. You're just grabbing the first trainer, like or
Yeah.
kick or slide or whatever. What is that shoe that you just grab for when you're just running out of the house? You're not going out for a long day. You may not even be going to it. You might just be going around the corner for a second. What
It's
is
my
that
running
shoe?
trainers, my Asics, because they're comfortable. I run in them. I don't have to do up the laces to put them on. So I'm
saying they're ready to go.
Slip them
they're
on,
ready to go.
With my boots, you got to tie laces. If it's my Jordan 1s, you got to tie up the laces, all that kind of stuff there. This one I love them because it's just easy. Just slip them on and they're comfortable.
I respect it. Do you remember the name of the shoe?
The Asics, I can't remember. I remember the Asics. Then I remember I saw an updated version of them or something like that, But I remember at the time they were expensive actually. I was like, okay, these are expensive, like £200. I was like, what?
Yeah, they're real running shoes. They're
so
proper.
I think my wife even later on got me some Asics. Then I used them. That was maybe she bought that about 7 years ago. That was £200, something like that. I used them up until about, I don't know, about 4 months ago when I updated them. So I was like, I got my money's worth out of them. To the point where
that's good stuff.
Where they were ripped on the side, my toes sticking out, right? You know what I was hoping, to be honest? What I was hoping was, it sounds so silly, right? Sometimes we do stupid things, right? Whereas I was hoping that I was putting on Instagram, and being like, look, my trainers are ripped, this and that. I was hoping someone's going to say, some company's going to say, hey, let's give you some trainers to run in instead. But no one did. What happened actually instead was, I was like, look, anybody want to sponsor some trainers, come and sponsor some trainers. But I was referring to like brands, right? That same week, 2 customers bought me running trainers.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm lying. 1 customer, and the other person that bought me running trainers wasn't even a customer. I was a customer of his. He'd fixed my phone or something like that. He's a phone fixer, Mr. Fix It, right? And he bought me trainers. Yeah, and then I had another customer who bought me trainers. He's like, yeah, no, I saw it, this and that. He just came and dropped them to me. I was like, rah. I wasn't being serious, guys. I was like,
that is nuts, bro. That is nuts.
Serious, because outside of that, the trainers I had, which I used to run in as well, actually, was the Under Armours. But I used to run in Under Armours, and I used to wear a lot of Under Armours. And the reason why is because me and Anthony Joshua are the same size. Well, he's one size bigger than me, but I'm like, we make it work, innit? So any trainers he didn't want, I'll take.
So hold tight, Mark. So you're getting the connect through AJ, yeah?
We're the same size. He's like I'm size 12. He's like size 13 or 14, right? But then the Under Armour I find come up smaller.
Oh, okay, so it makes sense.
So when I'm wearing even his 14s as example, because he wears between 13 and 14. So when I'm wearing 13s, they fit because that's the size. When I'm wearing his 14s, they're only a little bit bigger, and I don't mind it. So like a lot of stuff I got through him because just kind of like and there's not many people around him with the same size. It's not like I'm taking out of someone else's mouth. No, there's not many people which are like size 14. Who else is like size 13, 14? I'm size 12, but who else is like, that size? So it's like, okay, there'll be times when he's just throwing them on me, to be honest. I'm like, oh.
Hold on, I'm size 12 as well, by the way, but just saying, bro. There's any pairs knocking about.
I got you.
I'm gonna hold you to that, man. Respectfully, I love that, man. That's hilarious. All right, bro. I'm gonna ask you a weird question. Right? If you had to wear one pair of shoes or a pair of trainers your entire life, it's just one pair for the rest of your life, right? What shoe would you select?
It'd probably be Asics running trainers, and the reason why they'd probably be that is because I enjoy running. So I'm not going to choose a shoe that I can't run in. So I'm going to have to have a multi-purpose trainer for walking around, all black if possible, walking around, running in, working.
I understand what type of time you're in. All black, yeah. It makes it.
Working in. If I'm going to have I need a multi-purpose trainer.
It needs to be multi-purpose.
I can't just go with fashion and be like, yeah, I'm going to get those Jordan 1s, or I'm going to get this, I'm going to get the Gucci, I'm going to get this. It's kind of like, great. You can get all those trainers there, right? But what about when it's time to run or exercise and do a hit workout? Are you going to use those, paradas to do a hit workout? Because some of them feel like, yeah, I'm getting the paradas, I'm getting this. It's like cool, but you can only wear one.
Nah, bro, I'm there with you. For real, this is it. It's one for life, and I respect it. And it makes a lot of sense because obviously running's a
Yeah,
big part of your life, right? I want to say like 80% of trainers made are running shoes, right? People, majority of the time that are wearing running shoes aren't even running in them.
yeah,
They're walking in them. It's life. It's daily life, right? They're built
yeah,
for comfort, right? And they're structured as well. So yeah, it's
yeah,
a smart choice because it makes a lot of sense, right? We're going to go to another
yeah,
weird and wonderful question. And this is a question that is like, well, sort of like regarded in terms
yeah,
of Kicks Chronicles. It's an
yeah.
oldie and a goodie. I refer to it as Desert
Okay,
Island Kicks. Right, I'll set the premise for you. You let me and let me know if this makes sense to you. So
yeah,
you're on a desert island. You don't know how you got there, but you got two pairs
okay,
of shoes with you. All right, you got two pairs of shoes with you. Right, you don't know how you got there. You don't know when you're gonna go, but you just know that this is island life, and I need two pair of kicks. What two pairs of shoes would you have with you, and
Palladium
why?
boots, and that's because if I'm on a desert island outside of the sand, I'm gonna have to be going like climbing trees, going through forest type things, right? So I need some
Makes sense.
robust shoes, that I can step on things, little pin,
Robust.
you
I
know,
love that
you
word.
know,
Come on.
I need
Them
hard
hard
wearing
wearing
shoes
thing there, bro.
that aren't gonna like rip after a couple wears, or you don't feel the ground when you're walking in them. You need some robust kind of like boots to kind of
Yeah,
like
man.
to live in that space there. And then the second pair would probably be. I love running, man.
Go ahead, say it, bro. Say it.
But the thing is,
Say it.
if it's an island, that means it's just sand. So I got things. So I guess
It's true.
it's gonna be sand or in the forest. So
Probably a little bit of both.
yeah. So I think it's gonna have to be a comfortable trainer. So I think it's going to be back to the Asics trainers as well. Because obviously, if people are talking about
Mm.
fashion, it's like I don't know why you're talking about fashion. You're on a desert island right now.
Well, you'd be surprised, Mark. I'm not even going to lie to you, bro. Like, this question is so interesting to me because it allows you, it's like a window
Yeah,
into people's minds, right? Because some people think the complete opposite. Some people are like, no, I need to look good because I'm going to be rescued.
you're not gonna look good when you get rescued. Believe me. But either way,
Even and we all saw Castaway, we know how it ends up, bro. But the thing is, yeah, some people are like, I'm gonna be rescued, so I need to drip when I'm rescued. Like I need to look good when I get rescued. So I have one pair for like island living, and I have one pair on ice just ready for when I get
okay.
rescued, innit? Like I remember I asked J2K. J2K was like, there's a couple girls on the island with me, like, so I need to be in the IC Air Force Ones just to make sure that everything's looking good. You get me? When I'm in my swim shorts and I'm on the beach.
I think you might really,
Good.
because I didn't think so. Should I say sliders? Because likely,
Could work.
you're not going to be wearing trainers on the sand, right? So you're only going to be wearing trainers in the kind of forest area, right? So that's what's making me think. So maybe I'll get the boot, and maybe I'll get a running trainer, or I'll get like a multi-purpose trainer. Maybe if there's another, I'm going to say Asics. I haven't tried any other trainers that kind of like maybe are like, because I like boots, especially if I'm in a forest area, right? I like to feel comfortable. I
Makes
don't like
sense.
low cut. I don't like low
Makes
cut
sense.
shoes. I'm like, no, 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 no. Cover me up. I want to be covered up.
For I don't want none of my skin
Yeah.
exposed in that scenario.
So
Yeah, no, I hear you.
if there's a
I hear
running,
you.
if there's a boot, anyone let me know. If there's a boot you can run in, that's the trainer.
I respect it. I respect it. We're gonna do some
Okay,
quick fires.
I'm ready.
Yeah?
Well, I'm
We're gonna
not
do
ready,
some
but
quick
yeah.
fires. Exactly. Not ready, but go. Right. All I'm gonna ask you is just like say it from your heart, say it with chest, with vim. Like I don't read very fast, so you're gonna have a little bit of time
Yeah.
to. So I say it's quick fire. It's probably like mid fire. I don't know what the right term is, but like you will have some time. But yeah. Like, just say the first thing that comes into your mind. Don't think too much about it. Just let it go. Let it rip. All right. Ready to go? All right. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Big question. I have to ask. Nike or Adidas?
Nike. And
Yeah, man.
Nike.
All right. Can you wear Nike and Adidas together? Yes or no?
Your money. Spend it how you want. Wear what you want.
Okay. All right. We might have a chat about that. YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok?
Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram, right? This is a good one. Sneakers, kicks, Creps, or trainers? Spotify or Apple Podcast?
Spotify.
Laces or slip-ons?
Slip-ons. I'm lazy.
Respectfully. If you were wearing laces, are you doing patterns with your laces or are you straight default settings?
I'm 38 years old.
You'd be surprised, Mark. You'd be surprised.
I'm a grown man, respectfully.
Respectfully.
Normal Christmas. Bro. As adventurous as you can get is the one lace going across. I can do normal crisscross, but if I was going to get adventurous, just one lace across. There's no... yeah.
I hear that. Would you ever consider customizing your shoes, or are you straight factory settings?
Shoes.
Interesting. Retro or innovation?
Retro.
Flip-flops or sliders?
Sliders. That is my name.
Huh? Obviously, that's a slam dunk. That's a slam dunk for the culture. Fresh and clean or beaten and battered?
Fresh and clean, but I don't mind beaten and battered.
This question is in regards to your footwear, right? Are you using the washing machine to clean your kicks, or are you hand washing your kicks? Respectfully. Lows, mids, or highs? And last question is triple blacks or white on whites? Congratulations. All black everything. Well, you've got to the end, right? And I want to touch on something because I've been known in the past year to roast one or two people.
I know people
for
like
their answer to.
I know people like you. You're not the first. I've had this conversation about the mix and matching.
It's not for real, right? So, like, I know, and I heard what you said. And for the most part, I agree. It is your money. Do what you want to do with your money. Right? Do what you want to do with your money. The difficulty that I have here, right, is trustworthiness. Fam, like, I'm just being real, bro. If I see you mixing and matching those things there, bro, I don't trust you, right? In life. I don't trust you because you're neither here nor there, bro. You're mixing and matching, bro. You're not, bro. I'm saying you're on both sides of the fence, and it's not okay to me, bro. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't sit on the fence. You need to pick a side and you need to run with it. Now, I'm not saying you need to be exclusive. I'm just saying on that day when you throw in them 3 stripes, don't allow a swoosh to be anywhere near you. You get me? Like, I'm saying, like, what are you saying to that? What are you saying to what I'm talking about? What are you saying?
Fashion is down to you, right? So when you go out there and you spend your money, you are not here serving the brand. The brand is serving you. So if you see a red Nike tracksuit and you like these red Adidas trainers, why can't you mix and match since you bought the Adidas trainers and the Nike tracksuit, right, to suit you and for them to serve you? When we start saying things like we can only wear Adidas if we're wearing Adidas, now we are serving them. So why are we paying them to serve them?
I hear you, bro. See, this is an upper echelon convo, bro, because he's coming with a deeper argument, talking about serving and all of them things. You know that's emotional language you're using, bro. Well played. Wow. That's serving, man. Trying to take me back. No, I'm not doing it. No, but I hear what you're saying, and I get you, because obviously this is all like kind of alluding to what you were saying before in terms of marketing. This is all indoctrination, right? This is us saying, "Oh, I'm team Adidas or I'm team Nike or whatever." And the thing is, we all have allegiances or preferences, which I appreciate, right? But the issue that I've always had, and I don't know what it is, bro, I just like things to be straight. I just like things to be connected. I like there to be consistency in my movements, bro. Like, I like you to be able to look at me, right, today, right, and in 10 years and still say, oh, I kind of know what way PROZECH's going to move because he's consistent. You get me? Like, when I see somebody rocking 3 straps and a swoosh together, not on separate days, because you might catch me like that, bro. I'm saying you might catch me like that. But at the same time, what you're telling me is you're a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? No. Because what is happening is you've been caught up in brand wars. And let me tell you why.
You see, this guy, I need this guy in my life. He's giving me the business.
You don't actually have an issue with mixing and matching. You have an issue with mixing and matching big names. Because what trainers did you wear today?
I haven't left the house today, so I've only wore Crocs.
Okay. What's the hat you're wearing?
Yeah. It's the Oakland Days.
Okay. Have you ever worn that hat with Nike or Adidas trainers? So you don't mind mixing brands. You just don't mind mixing the biggest brands together.
Yes, I don't mind mixing brands. My issue isn't mixing brands, yeah. And you know, it's a great point that you're making, because I purposely, and this is something that I've got, and this is a little bit of like advice, yeah, right? I purposely don't buy Nike tracksuits or Adidas tracksuits for this reason. I don't buy those things, so I don't fall into this category. Purely because I have this thing, and I know it's a hang-up. Yeah. I know it's a stigma. I know it's something that you shouldn't enforce or impose on other people, but it's just how I was raised, and it's annoying to me, but I don't know why. I want to let it go, but it keeps on coming back, right? But I purposely, in a way to alleviate myself from the stress of it, at least in my own life, I started buying H&M, Uniqlo, like sort of those kind of brands. So yeah, I have no issue with mixing brands. I have issue with mixing Nike and Adidas, because they are mortal enemies to the death. And only one can survive.
You jumped in on a war with them, and not only are you jumping on a war with them, you're not even getting paid for it. You're paying them.
You see, this guy's giving me the business, bro, on my own podcast, man. With all due respect and a smile on his face, like a baby face assassin, just killing me off. You get me, man? I respect it. Mark, do you know what? I have to just say thank you so much for your time, my bro. It's been absolutely amazing having you on. Like, it's been a real treat being able to speak to you a little bit about your life, a little bit about your sneaker history, your business and social media. Like, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Before I let you go, I wanted to ask you about the term. In the sort of sneaker industry, we have this word that we refer to people that like kicks. We call them sneakerheads, right? And for some people, it's like a real inclusive term. It makes them feel part of a family, part of a group. And for others, it's almost like a bit of gatekeeping. Like, oh, if you don't have X, if you don't have this amount of this, then you can't call yourself that. You don't qualify, right? For you, what is the term sneakerhead?
For me, a sneakerhead is someone who's just like really into trainers. So they know when everything's dropping. They're trying to get the exclusive trainers. They have got a wide selection of trainers, exclusive and, classics and, general release trainers. Someone who's actually into trainers, like, they are, if you go onto their YouTube search history, they're looking up trainers. If you go to their Instagram, in the Explorer page, you'll just see a bunch of trainers and different kind of sites to do trainers. To me, that's a sneakerhead. Someone who's like, it's not kind of like, oh, you like trainers. No, you can see the trail of it in every aspect of your life. And that's what I see as a sneakerhead.
So, with that being said, would you say that you are a sneakerhead?
No.
I hear what you're saying, bro. And and that is with all due respect as well. Like, and let me put it to you like this. Like, I subscribe to the old school adage and the old school way of thinking. Remember back in the day with the generation game, nobody goes home empty-handed. You get me? You get me? You get a prize. You get me for participation in the game. You get me? And the prize that I give out, the highest prize that I have available to me, right, is when I look across from somebody or have these kind of conversations, and I'm able to have this type of conversation for an hour plus where we're talking about kicks, we're talking about life. I can't but bestow upon thee, right, Kicks Chronicles certified sneakerhead. I can't but do it, Mark. I'm sorry. You get me? I know you're not saying you're a sneaker, but you are to me, bro. Because the thing is, yeah, right. Let me even give you a little bit of my mindset when it comes to this, right? You may not call yourself I don't know, a motorhead or a gas head or whatever. The petrol head is what people call. You may not be a film critic, right? But in life, we make decisions and we like certain things, right? And I look at it as a spectrum, right? Now, you may not, in your mind, fulfill all of the necessary criteria in order for you to say, I'm a sneakerhead, right? What I believe is that criteria, similar to how you were trying to school me on brand wars, yeah? I believe that that's been imposed upon us. I believe that's the thoughts of others manifested through our mouths. Like, oh, if I don't have this, then I don't qualify for that. Also, who cares, right? But like, for me, what I don't want people to think is, oh, I don't qualify because I don't have this, right? And that's the distinction for me. So the reason why I'm like, bro, for you to be here, for you to have the conversation, for you to even like agree to even like being on the platform, bro, you're a sneakerhead to me. You get me? It don't mean that. Like, the thing is, whether you've got 5 shoes in your collection, 3 shoes in your collection, or you've got 1 solid pair, bro, it makes no difference to me, bro. The fact that you're actually here, you're on the platform, you're doing your thing, I respect it. So yeah, Kicks Chronicles certified. Slider Cuts is a sneakerhead, bro. And I don't care what anyone says. You get me? And with all of that being said, bro, we've come to the end of the podcast. Can you just tell the millions and millions of people that are going to watch this eventually?
Amen.
Amen. You got to speak it out, bro. We've got to prophesy them words, right? Can you tell the millions of people how they can get in contact, how they can support what you're doing, if you've got anything popping off or going on that you want them to get involved?
All right. If you want to find me, it's just Slider Cuts on every platform. You know, SLIDERCUTS. Every platform. My website, slidercuts.com, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube. You know, only platform that's not under Slider Cuts is my LinkedIn, which is under my name, Mark Maciver. So, but everything, if you just type Slider Cuts in, you will find everything. Go to my website, you'll find everything. I've got a book out called Shaping Up Culture. That's on my website or
Love
Amazon.
That.
You know, the numbers they're doing well. You know, we've distributed quite a lot of books. So yeah, that is kind of like a business book. Yeah, so I'd say yeah. But if you want to find out anything about me, literally go to my website because everything's on my website, slidercuts.com.
People, you heard it here. Make sure to head over to that website and hit them up on social media. That website, once again, is slidercuts.com. You get me? Once again, Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Like, it's been an absolute treat. You're an inspiration. Like, as a young black man, like, first of all, we're the same foot size, we're the same, we're the same age. Cheers. Both go to church as well. Like, there's a lot of similarities, man. And when I see people out here doing amazing things, bro, like, I'm just instantly gravitated to them because, like, you want to glean and understand and learn from those types of people, man, and just sort of just get more understanding. So yeah, thank you very much for being on, and we really appreciate you, man. As I said, people go and light him up. This has been another episode of Kicks Chronicles with an illustrious guest. Slider Cuts came through and did his thing, and it was absolutely amazing. People, once again, thank you very much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of the great things and the things that you're meant to do with social media. You already know what all of that's about. And yeah, if I don't see you anytime soon, until next time I see you, man, down the roads, everybody, please look after yourselves and stay blessed. Thank you for listening to this episode of Kicks Chronicles. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, review, and all that good stuff. And remember, full video version is available on YouTube, audio versions available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.